Yeah, they do know him, don't they? And I just wonder about that. I mean, if you're honest, is he a popular, or rather, has he been a popular MP?
He's done good things for the constituency, but as far as name recognition is concerned, he's right. We're getting a lot of literature out, and people are beginning to recognise me and know my name. And what people really feel strongly about is the Brexit issue, and they know that the Liberal Democrats are the party that are still standing to remain in the EU, and that's what the issue is really all about.
But how difficult is it when, as you accept, he is being regarded as a good MP, and let's face it, he extended his majority against the Liberal Democrats by many thousand in 2015. How difficult is that for you to deal with that when he's stood down or given it all up on a matter of principle?
Well, we've obviously got, a lot of ground to make up, but the evidence so far that we're seeing is that we are starting to catch up. So, we've come from the Witney by-election, and if we got the same swing in Richmond Park that we got in Witney, then that would be enough for us.
And what is your evidence for that? That you're going to say is the responses you're getting on the doorstep?
Absolutely, yes. Our canvassing data is showing some very positive results.
And presumably people are saying it's been a heroically self-sacrificing decision of his to give up his seat on the basis of an issue like Heathrow, aren't they?
Well, not everyone is saying that, to be honest. He stood in 2010 and in 2015 on an anti-Heathrow platform, and as Tanya mentioned earlier on, we also had a referendum in Richmond about whether or not people wanted Heathrow expansion. So he's had mandates before to stand against Heathrow expansion. It's not like he really needs another one. So not everybody is that impressed by his decision to stand down.
While the people of Richmond did make clear in the referendum which way they wanted it, and they very much wanted to stay, 70-30 in Europe, they've known Zach Goldsmith's Eurosceptic views for a long time, and his parentage, and you can hardly escape that, and yet they voted him in 2015.
Well, actually, you'd be surprised. We're meeting a lot of people on the doorsteps who didn't know how anti-Europe he was, and they're realising now, through our campaign, that we are the only party that's really stood, always been the pro-European party, and continues to be the only party in government that continues to campaign for us to remain in Europe, that wants to, for us to remain part of the single market, to save British jobs, to save British businesses.
And you would vote against triggering Article 50, wouldn't you? You wouldn't start the process if you were elected. I mean, on what basis do you think voters are going to say or vote for you when you would be willing to defy the will of the people across the country?
Well, it's... Firstly, as you've already said, 70% of voters in this constituency were very keen for us to remain in the European Union. But also, because that's the issue that we're fighting on in this by-election, I would be returned to Parliament if I won with a very clear mandate as to how my constituents that I would be representing want me to vote.
Let's bring Tanya Mathias in here. I mean, do you accept that actually, you'll accept from your own postbag, presumably, there are very strong feelings about Brexit? I mean, we know what you feel about Heathrow, but would you say and accept there are very strong feelings about that, and you voted to stay in?
My constituency, just like Zach's, is full of very thoughtful people. So I voted to remain. Yes, I was very disappointed with the national vote, but like many MPs, and I think all parties in Parliament, we did say that we would accept the national result. What I have said to my constituents, we now have to make it work. I have been holding the government to account in my position as MP, and especially with science, and I've also been very strong on protecting EU workers, EU families, as has Zach.
Would you accept that?
At the end of the day, the Lib Dems are the party that wants us to remain in Europe. They're campaigning on that, that are united on that. And so the voters in Richmond Park can have no doubt about what I will do if an Article 50 vote comes before Parliament. But I really think equally they can have no doubt what Zach Goldsmith would do.
Siobhan, can I just ask you, your candidate Christian Woolmar there is someone very much against Heathrow. But also, do you think there was an argument here? Would you have agreed, would you have liked it if Labour had said, let's not put up a candidate like the Greens haven't, to give the Liberal Democrats a better chance of dislodging?
Oh no, I think Labour's got a distinctive voice, and I think we should use it as often as possible. I think Christian is a great and a sincere candidate. He's been campaigning, unlike myself, against Heathrow for decades. He has very strong views that he would agree with Sarah, that he would vote against the moving of Article 50. Now, I disagree with him.
But you think it was important for him to stay in the race?
No. I'm sure the voters of Richmond are very thoughtful, and I would like them to think that Christian actually is on their side on the
Okay.
issues of concern to
Kind
them.
of very, very briefly, Tony, very briefly,
Okay,
because
so
we've got to
your
move on.
candidate's
Sarah, go.
been clear. You say you've been clear, but I have to say that I believe that you've changed your view. Zach hasn't changed his view. He wants to make
Nor has
Brexit
Christian.
work.
We've established that. Nor are all those people. Let's not go in there. We're running out of time. We've got to let Sarah go.
I have not
Sarah.
changed my view.
There we are. You made the accusation.
That's a blog. That's
You
a
said you
blog
haven't,
from
and you saying it's okay,
14th
and-
of October blog. That's
Yes,
where I.
But the
believe you
Article
said,
50
"Let's make it
judgment
work."
wasn't made
And-
until after I wrote
and
that blog.
views
So how
have
could it have
evolved.
been a view on whether or not I would vote against Article 50?
You said, "Let's make it work."
And views,
Bring people together.
And views,
That's not what
and
I
views
said.
have evolved. We'll come back to it, I hope. Thanks very much indeed, Sarah.
Thank you.